How's it going, business owners, marketers, entrepreneurs, and marketing managers? My name is Daniël-James, and this is Daniël-James Media with business tips and tricks. Today, we're talking about an exciting topic. It's called customer service and customer engagement solutions for 2020. Now, this is such a cool and super important topic for business owners, especially. You need to know this for your company. And so we're going to jump right in.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold. You might need a sweat.
And like the first thing I want to share with you is stats. These stats will blow your mind because this is how crazy important this should be for your business. If you're not embracing these parts of your business, you're forgetting who you're serving and why you're doing all this craziness for customers. So let's take a look at these stats. So the first one I want to read to you is 60% of customers say that their standard for good customer experience is higher than ever before. Okay, that's from Salesforce. 73% of customers say that one very good customer experience raises their expectations for other companies. Now that's crazy. 90% of customers think it's important to receive immediate response. That's craziness, mind-blowing. You should be thinking about that, right? 90% response. That means they're on social media and they didn't get responded to, or they're walking down your aisle of some store and they didn't get responded to. They're freaking out. You got to do this. You got to look at these stats and understand why this is key, and then I'm going to help you with solutions. So next stat I want to read is 85% of consumers won't do business with a company if they're concerned about its security practices. 63% of consumers say the best brands are the ones that exceed their expectations throughout the customer experience. Fantastic. Okay, now that you've got those stats in your mind, I want you to think about this. Customer service and customer engagement has evolved. Okay, those are two elements, but I'm going to teach you today in 2020 how this has evolved. We've had a crazy thing happen. I'm not going to say what the word is because I don't want like the YouTube algorithm to destroy this video, but you guys all know what I'm talking about. 2020 was the year of one thing, and it probably will be labeled that for the rest of our lives. That is just how crazy it is. Now, customers have gone to a whole nother level now. There's a whole nother expectation, right? So when you're serving these customers, make sure you're following procedures and things like that. You don't want to be the business or the poster child that gets shut down. So the other thing I want to mention is a lot of people don't think about online customer service, right? That's a problem. You need to think about your online customer service. We all think about that, you know, I'm going to talk to the customer, I'm going to respond right, I'm going to like, hey customer, let me listen to you, right? There's that method called the L.A.S.T method, which is L.A.S.T, listen, apologize, solve their problem, and then thank them. So remember, we're in a world of digital. Even if you're like thinking about your customer, it needs to be really centric to their whole experience. And that's what I mean, it's evolved. And the whole experience has evolved in so many different ways. So today I'm going to share with you some of those ways, and I'm going to share the solutions to both sides of those spectrum. Now let's talk about customer engagement. These two go hand in hand. I feel like they could be married in some way because the one benefits the other. And this is all about your bottom line in terms of your lifetime value of your customer comes through customer service and through customer experience. Customer service is like dealing with the fires, right? And making sure you're paying attention to your customers. And customer engagement is making sure you keep them coming back, keep them embracing your services. This could also be called customer experience. And so, yeah, so like an example of that is, so if you've ever been part of a VIP program or a hotel service or company, and you know, they're sending you rewards. I know there's one I use in these different places that you can travel. It's called Mila Rewards, super cool company. They always keep up with me and they give me offers in the right time. I feel engaged and I want to buy back from them because I'm like, you know what? I went there and I went to their all-inclusive resort and it was crazy good. This is going to be good for everyone else. And then I talk to other people about it, right? So that's the difference there. And they are really married in that sense. Okay, let's talk more about solutions within these fields. So we're talking about customer service and customer engagement, what those two things are. And now let's talk about some solutions to improve customer engagement as well. Now, I've also written a blog about customer engagement for websites. It's on danielljamesmedia.com/blog. But it's very much for websites. So if you're a business owner, this is something for your design team. It's something for your marketing manager. get them over onto the site, or you could even read it if you're the DIY guy who's building the site yourself, which I don't recommend. This is something my company does. We do websites and things like that. But for these videos, I'm really just talking about business strategy, business tips, and really boosting your business to the next level. I've worked with so many companies for the past 11 years that I've like really given me the experience to understand how to do business strategy and marketing and things like that. But moving on, let's talk about the 5 things you could do to really improve your engagement for your clients and customers. Tip 1, and what I have for you here, is create a cult-like culture. Now, I know this sounds crazy. It sounds like evil and just insane. Like it's gonna, you're gonna fall into this news article and you're gonna destroy a bunch of people. No, that's not what's happening here. Cult-like culture is so powerful. And if you can understand it, you can really help your customers stay engaged. I got this concept from a book called Built to Last, and it's written by Jim Collins. He's a really cool author, and they do a lot of data research, things for years and years and years to come to conclusions. And one of their conclusions about how companies become successful is that one of them is they have a cult-like culture. Now, what this really is like membership programs, things that help your clients stay engaged and your employees stay engaged as well. One of the examples in the book is all about how like one of these department stores kept their employees so engaged because they had like systems that made sense to their internal staff as well as their customers. Customers felt bought in and they would continue to come back. So it's kind of what I talked about earlier. So that's tip number 1. You can find the book in the description below. And there's also Good to Great he wrote, which I love. It's probably the book of the year for me for 2019. It just changed the way my business operates. I actually use that as a guide for my business to become greater and better for clients and people around me. Moving on, tip number 2. This is all about creating consistency. This sounds kind of like silly, but it's so true. Consistency. You need to have systems and things in place that'll help you follow up with customer engagement experiences as well as customer service problems. That could be anywhere from a chatbot on your website or on your Facebook page, however your customers like to respond to you, leave you feedback, things like that. You need to be consistent. You need to have a time frame of like how fast can you respond to someone. You also need to have, if it's email notifications, it needs to be consistent and tracked and understood, tailored for your customer audience, right? So I'm big on data. You want data to understand what exactly is your customer wanting from you and how are you going to give them customer experience, and that leads to like surveying. So ask your customers, right? We spoke about this previously. Tip number 3, go above and beyond for your customers. This will go so far in everything that you do. Just think about that experience you've had where a company that you love, maybe it's Apple, maybe it's Tesla, maybe it's one of these bigger companies or even smaller companies, local stores, because local business is important right now, that they just went above and beyond. I love this when a company does it. And then that's when I leave like a 5-star review. I even go even further to tell people about it. And that's what you want. You want this repeat of like customer engagement where they're like, hey, this company did this for me. I believe they would do the same for you. Or people look at that, and referral business is some of the best business you can get. Not only is it free, it's also like inexpensive, it's continual, it can exponentially grow, right? Like if you just add the numbers up, if I showed you the stats for every unhappy customer you have versus the stats when a good customer shares experiences as well, the unhappy customers are going to share 100 times more badly on you. Tip number 4, have touch points with your customers, right? This is a digital age. So like on our website, and if you read this blog, you could go and see a bunch of things down there. But in this day and age, you forget that your customer is a real person. And I want you to think like, how do I have a touch point with a customer? And it's going to lead into my next tip, but think about the concept of that, right? You're literally, not now we can't touch and things like that. We have to do the elbow or wear the mask, right? And do the whole head nod. Hey, I see you. Good. You're a great customer. Here's some hand sanitizer, right? Honestly, I mean, who knows what that touch point is? It doesn't have to be your hand to your hand. It could be you doing something special in terms of, hey, we'll send an agent out to go see you, or hey, let's jump on a chat. Let's find out what is going on for you as a customer. Have a department in your company that can really do that. Another way to find good touch points is go and see what other companies are doing. How are they giving touch points, right? If you're a car dealership or if you're in real estate, what is everyone else doing in order to get touch points? Leaving a nice comment, or they are offering the client a Zoom call, right? You're taking things to the next level by being able to give touch points to customers. I have one customer who, no matter what I do, I have to go see them every single month, once a month. And I actually make a point of it to touch my clients once a month, even if it's a call or a follow-up. Tip number 5. This has been huge for my company. It's send gifts, send something nice. Even if it's something small, even if it's a letter that says thank you, that works too. Now, I'm going to give you some crazy advice too, which is your unhappy customers. Look, if you can change an unhappy customer to a happy customer, you may have a customer for life. And not only that, you've moved them away from saying negative things to you. So even those customers you're collecting on, let's say they owe you a ton of money, figure out a way to make that go away, or if it's worth it to you, maybe they could come in and work those hours off, or maybe they could just even, get a nice something that reminds them of the company, and I need to pay back the money that I owe. And you will see that goes such a long way. I usually do it every quarter. This keeps your customer engagement pretty good throughout the year. It also means that you don't have to spend too much out of pocket. I know that if you look at the taxes, you only can do 25% in gifts as a deduction per customer. So that's as much as you got, but you can deduct that. So that's even more beneficial to you for customer engagement. Now, I could go on and on and on with more tips on how to do customer engagement and customer service, but I didn't want to bore you guys. I wanted to make sure this was fast and right to the point. Something I almost forgot to mention is we have a show called Top Power Hour. Crazy awesome content on that show. It's going to be on the YouTube channel as well. We will be launching it as a podcast, so you'll be able to see all the episodes on Spotify and Podbean, and you'll be able to go and look at that. What that is going to be about is interviews with influential people who've made great amounts of money, or people who've just humbly risen to the top, right? My goal is to embrace those stories, share those stories, and have you think about it as a business owner and a person who's engaging with content to get your business to the next level. So listen to these top influential people through interviews on the Top Power Hour. You can just search it in Google, search it on Spotify, you will find it. Some other content I wanted to add to this video, but I don't know if I had enough time, is think about bigger companies, even the bad ones. Who am I talking about? I am talking about Amazon. Amazon's not so great when it comes to their employees, but hopefully they're getting better at that. But Amazon looked at their customers and really dived deep into what is going on. Customers really want to have one click. They want to make it as easy as possible for customers. So they gave them the one click option to buy and just get out of it, right? That's customer engagement, customer service to the next level. You need to look at that and find those gaps in your business and then add those gaps. I do this constantly every year. I look at things that I could add, suggestions customers have made. Very important to do. Now, here's a stat that I've been mentioning in another show called Marketing Tip Tea Time at 2:22 with Zovo Marketing. You can find them on Facebook. I know they're coming to YouTube soon, and they're so freaking awesome. If you want to know about marketing, that is the channel you need to be following, the place you need to be seeing. But I mentioned this on their channel once about landing page optimization. Amazon loses 1% of their gross revenue. You can fact check this on Google. For every second longer their page loads on Google, right? So their loading speed. Now, imagine that, right? Every second. So their loading speed is extremely fast because they don't want to lose their customers, right? Their website is extremely simple, and that's what gets them that far. I think I heard this first from Neil Patel, but it's on Google. You can search it and see it. Another point is find out where your customers are hanging out. What social media platforms are they using? How do I get to that social media platform and speak their language so they can engage with me? Maybe it's LinkedIn, Facebook, who knows? But you need to really figure this out. I've just read a stat as well. I'll bring it up on the screen. Google search still brings 50 to 60% of organic traffic to your website. That's where most websites get their traffic. So that means they're searching keywords, finding companies, and going from there. Now, websites don't have that much engagement social media has way more engagement. I mean, the average person spends like an hour or 45 minutes on Facebook a day. An average person spends 2-point-something hours, like almost 3 hours a day on social media. That's like mobile and desktop. This is crazy. Like, if you're not on social media, you need to be on social media to capture all those people and engage with them, right? Like, we're in the digital age now. It's too late to make excuses about this. Hire a teammate, hire someone who knows social media, make it happen, right? Like, don't be falling behind and letting your competition take those customers when you should be engaging with them. So yeah, I want you to always think about that, right? Where are they hanging out? How long are they spending on my website? If you can get them to spend longer than 15 minutes on your website, you're doing amazing. Average, like, bad websites do 2 minutes, right? Then you have better websites like Amazon and YouTube. They capture people and just keep them in on their platform. You need to think about your business like that. You need to capture and engage with people. Now, you still need to add value. You can't be like, just take. It's also give, right? Give so that they stay. YouTube gives a lot, so people stay. Google gives a lot, so people stay. So just keep those concepts in mind. And yeah, that's a good point on this one. And now for the YouTube algorithm, and from a South African to another person here, could you just do me a shop? Shop means thumbs up in South African. You just go down to that little icon, hit the blue button, make the shop go shop, 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 and make it happen for me so that the algorithm will help me. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and what that will do is you'll see any future videos and great content that I can release for you. Also, leave comments below on questions you have, like while you're going through this content, like, hey, I never thought about that, or hey, you should add this to your video, or what about this topic? Just go ahead in the comments. I reply to every comment, so you guys will always get a reply from me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Now, for those of you who've made it this far, the ones who want to be part and go deeper and deeper with some content that I don't really share publicly, I have a thing called DJM Tribe, and you can find that on the blog page, and you can find it as well on Facebook. We have a private group called DJM Tribe, and then it has business and finance, things like that. It's for business owners, created for you with the community that only you get limited access to these different features. And finally, there's other videos you can catch that should pop up here somewhere or here somewhere, not sure. Follow up with that and take a look at the next video. It should be just as engaging as this one. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video here on Daniël-James Media. And if you have any questions about media, go to the website. I cover different things on the site. So yeah, thank you guys so much and have a good, very good day.